Right.
Hey, welcome everybody. I am joined with my fabulous client Ellie today, and we are going to be chatting about her journey on growing her group program over the last 6 months. Ellie, can you introduce yourself? Tell everyone who you are, what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Ellie. I'm a former school teacher, although I've been in business for the last 10 years. Um, I have two businesses. My first one is a kids language franchise network, which we have 20 branches of across the UK, and that's doing fine. That's doing well. But I reached out to Gemma back in the autumn of 2022, so around about October, because alongside that business, I started a coaching business for teachers who wanted to transition out of the classroom and start their own online tuition business. And I was doing okay with that. It was going fairly well. I had kind of smallish number of clients. So I was serving them in a group, and there were just some kind of friction points and things that just weren't going as well as I would have liked. So it wasn't like it was in a bad place. It just what I knew it had so much potential, and I was a bit frustrated that I wasn't sort of hitting the sort of goals I had in mind for it. And I'd been running this coaching business for 2 years um, when I reached out to Gemma. 2 and a bit years in, yeah, and but the group element, the group process, and yeah, it was just ticking along, I suppose, and I wanted it to be better than that. So then I saw Gemma and reached out, and we've been working together now for the last 6 months, which has been great.
Awesome. So when we started working together 6 months ago, I remember you had like, I was going to say, like, what do you help your clients with? And what you helped your clients with, or what you were saying you were helping your clients with, was slightly different back then to what you now say. Would you be happy to share kind of that shift that you made?
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, it seems so obvious that I was sort of, banging slight my sort of I was banging the wrong drum slightly with my messaging, and I think that was causing a lot of yeah, like a lot of hard work for less return, I suppose. So I was basically not really spelling out clearly enough what it was I was helping teachers to do. What I was saying to them, look, I can help you get out of your teaching job. Because I know, this is really close to my heart as an ex-teacher. It's tough out there for teachers in the UK at the moment. It's really tough, and it's getting tougher. And I really feel strongly that teachers shouldn't feel trapped in their profession, and feel like there's no. So I was kind of talking to that feeling of kind of despair that a lot of teachers found themselves in, and saying, look, I can help you find a way where you can still teach a subject that you love, but not in a classroom. But I wasn't spelling out what that actually would look like, and what the end result would be, and that it would be a group tuition business. It was more of I can help you build an exit strategy, but I was not being clear about what that would look like. So I think it just perhaps my old messaging came across a little bit um, vague, like and almost secretive. And I wasn't intending it to be that way. It was like they'd have to reach out to get to book a call with me in order to find out more. I even had a funnel, which was a webinar funnel. So people had to watch a 45-minute webinar, and they still didn't really get what it was I was going to help them with, other than the generic, can help me leave teaching, but I don't really know what that is. And I now have to get on a call with her to find out. And then I was doing really long sales calls and stuff. So, um, yeah, so that was then 6 months ago. And it wasn't like that it wasn't working at all. It just felt like a lot of time and effort on my part to get
Yeah,
less
can I just
clients.
add something there? Because I remember when we chatted, like what was really interesting about you is you had done a lot of work to like put the foundations of your business in place to be attracting people. You'd run ads, you had a webinar funnel. And like, I
Yeah.
remember one of the first conversations was like, we just have to like strip back all the automation and go
Yeah.
back to the basic of like matching the marketing message to the sale. And I think that like is where a lot of people get tripped up, because we want to automate, we want to make things work efficiently. We can almost put the cart before the horse and do all of this work to try and create this, funnel that converts. Whereas we almost just need to get to like, what's the simplest message that people will buy. So you had things kind of semi working, you were attracting people, but like your conversion wasn't as high as you wanted it to be. And you knew this group had like loads of potential. What did you
Yeah.
want? Like when we started working together 6 months ago, what did you want to get out of it?
I mean, ultimately, I wanted to have predictable, reliable sales so that I could say, yeah, and I just even wanted to get to like a 5K month, talking money here. I knew that I could do that. I knew it was possible, but it was just really sporadic and hit and miss. So I wanted that kind of stability and that sense of this is actually going to be regular and it's going to be reliable, um, instead of hit and miss. And I wanted it to feel easier. Um, it felt difficult even to get to where I was. Um, the coaching side of it, running my program was the easy, light, lovely part, but all the marketing just felt a bit heavy and a bit too complicated. So yeah, I wanted it to be. Yeah, I wanted to. I also wanted to cut down on the time I was spending on sales calls and attract people who were already sort of bought into the idea. So I didn't have. They knew exactly why they were with me, and they'd obviously raised their hand and said, "Yeah, I'm interested in setting up a 2 hour a week tuition business using my teaching skills. I'm interested in that." So I didn't have to kind of sell them into that idea. They already were there with that. I want this thing, but I want to know how I can make it work in a streamlined kind of way.
So let me touch on that.
So my
Like, that's one thing, because my next question to you is like, what have you changed and what's the result? So one of the things you mentioned is we had you reposition your services away from like the people thinking about teaching, like leaving teaching, looking for an escape route, who were almost too early on in the journey. Like they could be great clients, but they actually needed to be bought into your specific USP, which was starting a tutor business. So one was like repositioning, and everyone can do this, by the way, if you're watching, like draw a timeline of your ideal client and just sense check, like, are you positioning your offer at the point that they're ready to buy, not like 2 steps before they're ready to buy, which ends up you having to do a load of persuasion and convincing and like, yeah, come this way, instead of just going, oh, by the way, when you decide to come this way, like now's the time to talk to me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what else
absolutely.
have you shifted in your business to make this feel easier, more sustainable, like less like hard work, like you were saying?
Well, yeah, exactly what you've said. Really, it's really thinking about where in that, where in along that timeline my ideal client is. So they've either already um, decided they're going to leave and they are considering tuition and they are ready to hand the notice in, or they've perhaps got that side hustle going, but they've not got the time or the know-how to really make that their main things that they can jump out. Or sometimes they've left and they've already got a tuition business going, but it's all this heavy lifting one-to-one and it's not quite making ends meet and they want to streamline it. So, those are I've got, really, they have to be at that point of they've decided to do a business or they are doing it and it's not working. So it's a completely different position on that timeline. They're not, they've already committed, even if it's just in their minds, to doing that. If that makes
Awesome.
sense.
Total sense. So you had the messaging shift. What else? What other actions have you taken to make this all feel easier and build it up?
Follow the program, follow Gemma's program to the letter. And I've not even, I have to say, I've not completed the program yet, but even like sort of halfway, 2/3 the way through, everything's changed. So, and for the better. So yeah, the messaging is right. My Facebook ads now go straight to like a really sort of concise lead magnet, which helps that further my ideal clients thinking in this process so that they're already they're already connected to the emotion of what their life would be like if they took this step when I meet them on a call. I've managed to get my calls down to about 20 minutes, which I never ever thought would be possible. And the sales are happening and they're regular, and I feel much more confident that this is about I can scale this as much as I want to now. And yeah, income wise, I've sort of smashed that target already, so that's really really good. And I just, yeah, really now it's a case of how far can I take this and how much do I want to scale it. I've put in place some extra. I've got some extra support in my business now, so that I can focus on serving my clients rather than doing all the admin and all the sales calls. So that's been a little bit of letting go, but that's had to happen in order to grow. And I'm realizing that this is actually, it feels good. It feels easy. It doesn't have to feel hard, and getting help and support is crucial, really, if you really want your business to look different in a year's time, 6 months time. I mean, for me it was a couple of months. It didn't take very long because I was already doing my thing. But if that's what you really want to see happen in your business, then yeah, support is crucial. So I've learned to let go of a few things in my business as well, which has
Yeah.
been, yeah, a good learning
And
curve.
well, like one of my learnings from working with you, and I see this with a lot of other clients, is you already had the group, you already had an offer, and actually getting to where you wanted was more about tweaking and optimizing than it was like changing loads of stuff. So
Yeah,
the message had to shift. It had because you were wasting a lot of time speaking to people that weren't ready. So once we'd repositioned the message, then it was, I hate to say funnel, but like optimizing the funnel. How do we get the right people to download the freebie? How do we get those people on a call straight away? How do we get a better call process so we convert them? How do we shorten those calls and use like a PDF or like a sales document to have them that final conversion piece? And like all of these are quite simple steps. But when you're doing it on your own, you're not really sure what the best process is, or if that messaging piece is wrong, you can end up building up a funnel that just doesn't convert as well as you need it to. And like you said, what was awesome is I think we started working together in November, and I think January or February you messaged me with like an awesome high income month where just like everything just began working. And it was like the week before where you're like nothing's working, and then everything was like now it's all working. And I'm not saying it's always
yeah,
like that
yeah,
black and white, but it was for you. It was like suddenly like the process started paying
yeah.
off.
It's been it's just been like textbook in a way, that apply the formula, make the changes, follow the system that you provide, and literally, yeah, January everything started to change, and each month has got better since. So the curve, the graph, if you like, goes January, February, that it's improved month on month, and now I'm like, I just need to deal with how that, I need to put in place more systems to support that growth. So I'm having to focus a bit on that, and that's a great. It's not even a problem; it's just a challenge that I need to deal with, and that's a really great problem to have, right? I'm growing quite fast, so I need more system. I need to improve my systems and processes, and make better use of the support I've already got within my business and the people I have who help. So
Totally.
yeah, it's all
What a
good.
lovely problem to have. I've got too many leads, everyone. I need better systems.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, there's always things I can improve. There's still optimization I can do. I think it's an ongoing thing with business, and I'll always want to look at, okay, how can I improve this and that? But it doesn't feel like an urgent or desperate kind of thing. It's just right. What do I want to improve going forward? What's my focus for this month? So yeah, good.
how would you describe your experience of working together?
Oh, just awesome. Yeah, it's been life changing, really. When you've got a business that you want and need to do to do something. For example, for me, my goal is to continue to scale so that my husband doesn't have to stay stuck in his job, and I'm already at that point where that could happen now. So that's thanks to joining Gemma's program. That sense of freedom that has come from this, and that sense of just feeling like I have, my program really does serve an audience that I feel, very connected to, and I love helping, love serving, and to be able to reach more people and help more people um, that I want to help it's an amazing feeling, and seeing them thrive and succeed is amazing. And of course, the more the better my business runs, the more time, the more energy I can put into serving them. So it's been amazing, and I don't want this, I don't see this as like the end. I'm like, oh yeah, I've reached that. Um, that's the end, and I'm just going to keep it as it is. I just see this as a complete, as a journey of self discovery and growth, and I want to keep it going. It's been great. So
I
yeah,
love
I'm
that
really,
mindset.
yeah, and I feel very lucky that I stumbled across your Instagram ad. I think it was. Um, yeah, so it just spoke to me. I was like, this is and as soon as we had that chat, I was like, this is the coach that I need, and literally unsubscribed from everybody else so that I've just got your messages going in all the time. So yeah, it's been great, and I'm super grateful, Gemma, for everything, because it's been transformative. It really has. So,
Awesome. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. What would you say is your biggest takeaway from the last 6 months?
oh gosh, the and this yeah, that investing in great coaching is one of the best things you can do, and thinking of it as an investment rather than an expense helps you get past that hurdle, because it can feel like, oh, this is money I could be spending on something else. But for me, there's every penny I've invested in this program has paid off like tenfold. So it's been an absolute no brainer. And I know that sometimes when you're in that moment of, can I commit to this financially? It can feel like a stretch, but um, I just believe the universe makes it work for you if you believe in it, and it has for me. And I think, yeah, that old chestnut about taking a leap of faith. If you believe it's going to be worth it, and you believe it's going to you have to believe in it first of all. Um, but I don't think there's any greater thing you can do than invest in yourself, in your, not just in your business, but in yourself in general. Um, and I will continue to do that, because every time I do that with the right person, it pays off, and I'll continue. Yeah, I think it is a mindset shift, but it's well worth doing. And the more you do invest in yourself, the easier it becomes to keep on doing that, because you see the results and you want more of that. So
And
yeah,
I just have to say testament to you as well, because like my program was the right steps, and that was because like I have a strong niche and like happened to be the exact path that you needed. But you are a model client because you took every single step and implemented. And that's why I love that mindset of what you said is like when you invest in the right support, but that you believe it will work, and that I'm going to add to that, and you take the action, because some people invest in programs and they think somehow it's going to magically transform their life without them doing anything, almost like the investment should elevate them, and it has to
yeah,
come with the action. And one of the reasons you've been a textbook case is because you took every single step and you implemented it step by step by step, and like ask questions and like use your initiative and made every step work for you in your kind of unique way. And that's the reason you got the result. Like, yes, the steps were there, but you took all of that action. I just want to massively acknowledge that, because you've been a
oh,
dream to work with in terms of like doing the stuff.
doing the things you've got to do the stuff. Yeah, you do. It's a partnership, isn't it? Like, and I think of that with my clients as well. And I've been guilty of thinking, or sometimes, I've had clients that don't take the actions, and I'm like, well, you have to meet each other halfway. Um, all the stuff is there that you need, in your program, Gemma. It's all laid out so brilliantly. that if you take the actions, you can't really fail if you follow it to the letter, and reach out for the support that's available.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a case of, this needs to work. I want it to work. I want this, really want it. And I really believe it's going to happen. And that's paid off. So, yeah.
So
So
last
thank you.
question for you. What are you looking forward to next?
Oh, well, hope it's okay that I am part of your mastermind now. So I'm absolutely, yeah, really excited about that. Leveling up, being with in a group of other women who want to scale their business. So this is something I've wanted to do for years. Put myself in that kind of group, and I'm just really excited to seeing how that is going to help me scale and and just keep living. Hopefully, get to a point, just where it feels natural and easy, and they're just looking forward to that really, and seeing what the future holds and what kind of connections I'm going to make. And because I think you are like the average of people you hang out with, right? So I think that's important. It's important that you have a bit of a tribe around you that challenge you and stretch you outside your comfort zone. So I'm definitely ready for that now.
Love it. Well, if you are watching and you are a teacher who is either still in teaching and wants to set up a tutor business, or you've maybe left and you've started a tutor business and you want help growing that, that is Ellie's zone of genius. You can find her at elliebakereducation.com. Cannot recommend Ellie enough. She's absolutely epic at what she does. And if you're watching this and thinking you want help growing your group program, either starting it or coming to me at the position Ellie did, where she already had her group program and she wanted to grow it with a focus on growing it month on month, without launches, without like cohorts of people, just having a program that people can come into and it being the thing you focus on. That's one thing I love about Ellie's business. She just does one thing. She just does, and a whole other business, but she just has one program that she focuses on enrolling into. So there's beautiful simplicity to her marketing, and she has a very, very clear niche, and that makes it an absolute dream to work with. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you later.
Bye.